Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the Coach's Corner with myself, Coach Hadassah, and the lovely, wonderful, amazing Coach Cotton, where we help you get to your next level. So, hey, Coach.
Hey, Coach. Coach, I'm so happy you are back this week. Coach, that's all I gotta say. Look, I just gotta say that it is glad that you are back. Last week we was on the struggle bus a little bit, but we overcame our challenges.
Yes. That's what we do, right?
Right.
That's what we do. That's how we have to do. First of all, before I continue, is my sound okay?
You sound good to me, and yes, you sound great.
Okay.
I apologize for Barack. He decided to start drinking water right now. So.
You already know that's what Barack do.
It's too much. It's just too much sometimes. I was actually just looking at a post and I was tagging and telling a friend Adrian's pit bull tore up his pet bed, and Barack did the same thing about 2-3 weeks ago, and I just bought him a new one because I was like, you're gonna be without. You need to understand how much this is costing me, and you're gonna have to just have fun with the carpet. And so finally I replaced it, and now he loves it. But Adrian's dog tore up his pet bed.
I mean, tore it up. That was so funny. I was cracking up laughing. He talking about she was on cloud 9.
Right. I'm like, no, Adrian, no, we cannot. We got to stick together with these pets. Do not let her get away with that. No, she needs to learn. He ultimately looked dope, so I left it.
Right. Too funny. We have hey, Ebony. Ebony is with us today.
Ebony girl, let me just say, when I tell you, you are one of the biggest supporters of the Coach's Corner. Me and Ebony was holding it down last week, Coach. Ebony girl, I love you.
Yeah.
She had my back.
You saw that, Ebony. It was that was funny with Adrian's what's Adrian's?
I don't know what his dog name. I don't know what her name is.
I can't remember. But yeah, look, I'm talking about y'all better than me, because I'm gonna tell you, we had a dog, Bentley, rest in peace. But I bought him a bed. Bought him a little pillow thing, and all that good jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, he didn't tear it up. But you know what that doggone Bentley was doing with the pillow?
What was he doing? Was he humping it?
Girl, I'm like, you supposed to sleep on the pillow.
He's like, he got other plans, Coach.
He was not sleeping on the pillow. He was doing other things with the pillow. And it's like, okay. And then get in the boys' bed and sleeping with the boys, but humping on the pillow. So
that's so hilarious.
Yeah. So I had because I had 50,000 kids, so I still had the baby bed mattress to one of their beds.
Mm-hmm.
and the sheets. So that's what I did. I would end up putting the sheet on a baby bed mattress, and I would put
Yeah.
that down, and he would lay on the baby bed mattress. I was like, I could have saved my doggone money.
That's hilarious, coach.
I could have
That
saved
is
my
hilarious.
sleeping on the baby bed mattress.
I love
Woo!
it. I love it. Yeah, these dogs, they got their own mind, their own personality.
Yes, yes, they do.
Y'all know
But
Barack
coach,
do what he want to do on a regular day. So
yes. But look, as we talking about, pets and things like that, I think that that's a good lead in to the topic. And the reason why I'm saying this is because, a lot of people have pets as emotional support, right? Like the
absolutely.
emotional support animals and things, which would be, well, I don't know. Now that I think about it, it's like I don't know if that would be good or not. But then maybe it would be, for emotional support when it comes to the topic at hand, where we're talking about depression.
Right. No,
You
I
know,
definitely think it's a good segue into that because animals can definitely be a motivator sometimes. They can be the ones because it's a responsibility. You know what I'm saying? And you may not react right away, but when you got that dog, is like, I gotta go out, I'm hungry or whatever, and they circling around, you like, okay,
right,
let
and it
me
makes
take care of
yes, and it
right.
make you get up, and so
Absolutely.
you're doing that, and even they can get you up and because I know, look, my dog Bentley, oh my gosh, he was I mean, I would be working. I don't know if I was depressed working, but I would be working, and the next thing you know, he come putting that heavy head on my leg.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, really?
All day long.
And then my
And
cat.
they are rescuers though.
Yes.
Especially those who are trained, those dogs that are trained, to really be a true support animal. They
Hmm.
can save lives, like literally. They can be the one to nudge you, contact somebody, and like you guys wouldn't believe Lassie was not like just a story. There are so many support animals that can definitely get help if need to be so.
Right. Yes.
They definitely can.
Yes.
Now I don't know if Barack is doing that. I might just be laid out and he might just lay out with me. So however, but Barack is actually labeled an emotional support animal because didn't even know I needed him in that capacity until I went to seek coaching and counseling myself. Y'all know how we support therapy and counseling. And
Yes.
I went and the counselor told me, she was like, and you still walking around in your right mind? And I was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, your dog needs to be a ESA because she told me, true story, he has been the only consistent thing in your life. And I was
Mm.
like, oh my goodness, like it kind of threw me back because I said, I'm a very consistent person. But she was just saying through all the trauma, he's still here. I was like, is he like Jesus? But what she was saying was that because he has served in that way to always be around. So when I was feeling those areas, he was a point of contact, especially since I don't have children, that I felt that responsibility to care for him when in all actuality, he was caring and supporting me all these
Yeah.
years. And she was like, you say no more. She wrote out the whole thing. So he is registered with the state as an ESA. And I was
Oh,
like, I was that bad.
wow.
And you
That's
just never know.
yeah, that's awesome. So,
But yeah.
Coach, what with
Whew.
depression with this topic, especially because it's it's wintertime,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot more people experience depressive episodes during the winter, and it's a lot of different reasons for that. So
Right.
what is depression?
So depression, and we go to our sources. We try to make sure that we give everybody the accurate understanding or interpretation of a word, whatnot. So it's a mood disorder. It's also feelings of being melancholy that leads to, and I'm looking at my notes, desperation. And that was real big, Coach. I said it's a melancholy feeling that leads to desperation. And then it also means to put down by force, so like physically press down the lower feelings that you will have. So this is definitely a mood and a feeling that you may get. So that's how it's categorized. So whenever you hear something about depression, think of it as a feeling that is pressed down to your low frequency vibrations. Yep. That thing had torn me apart, and I looked at it, and it was on the etymology dictionary, and it said melancholy leading to desperation. And I was like, what? Just simply because we know, I don't know if you ever been desperate, Coach, but I've been in some desperate situations, and I had no idea that depression could be a cause to lead to desperation. And then we all know when you become desperate for anything, like the old saying goes, desperate situation calls for desperate measures. So you begin to do things that you wouldn't normally do. And this is how, you know, depression can escalate to addiction, or then addiction can escalate to suicide. So, and we was going, it was just depression, but look how quickly depression turned into desperation that led to something greater. It just blew my mind, Coach.
Wow.
So, yeah. I mean, so that's what depression is. And as you guys can see, Coach does have it up here. The different types of depression and persistent. Okay, y'all hear Barack, he's doing a lot. Persistent, persistent depressive disorder. Also, major depression, bipolar disorder. I cannot talk today, y'all. Postpartum depression, psychotic depression, seasonal affective disorder, which the acronym is SAD. So that's how you can remember that. SAD, seasonal affective disorder. Yes, bipolar, situational disorder. There's a lot. But today, Coach Hadassah and myself, we're going to talk or speak about a few of them. We picked some that are recognizable. A lot of people kind of know about the general types of depression, and which is going to be bipolar disorder, the SAD, seasonal affective disorder. We also are going to touch on postpartum depression and situational depression. So these are some of the most common types that a lot of people are familiar with. If you say something about bipolar, most people like, okay, yeah, I kind of know the different mood swings that come with bipolar. You say postpartum, people mostly know that could probably deal with the mother after the birth of a child. And then, of course, the seasonal one, if it's cold, rainy, and snowy, you typically be sad a lot and can be depressed. And then situational, which is a circumstance may come up, and we're going to give some examples of that can cause you to fall into a depressed state. So which one you want to start with, Coach?
You know, because it is wintertime, and I think it would be good to lead into with seasonal depression,
Yes,
right? You know, seasonal depression, or the sad, right?
Sad.
And here's the thing about it, like people who live in you know, like colder regions, like the Midwest, East Coast, you know, North, where it's usually gloomy, there's less sunlight, there's you know, a lot of snow and things like that, and it's cold. Most of those people, like everybody, I'm talking
Right.
about in those regions, in those areas, are affected by seasonal depressive disorder, the SADs. They're affected.
Right.
I didn't realize that I was affected until it was one time where I was sharing with Coach Cotton. I had a really bad episode of depression. I I want to say that it was more than the SADS, but when I think about
Mm-hmm.
it, it was really like a combination of the depressive orders. So
Right.
there was the sad or seasonal, because during that time it was sometime in the winter time. And then on top of that, I had going through a breakup. So you got that. Then you got the, like Coach Cotton said, the situational. So it
Mm-hmm.
was seasonal and situational.
Right.
And it was I was living in my first apartment. I barely had any money. So that was a situation on so two situations on top
Mm-hmm.
of the so I think that's the reason why it was so bad, the way that I had experienced that depression,
Right.
um to the point where um I knew what I needed to do, but like my body would not move. In my
Wow.
head, I'm like, I gotta get up and do this and do this and do that. I was a single parent and all of that. And so I had to do a lot. I had to take care of myself, I had to take care of my children. And I could not move no matter what I tried to do in my head. I just couldn't. And I had lost a lot of weight. Um there's a lot that was going on, but it wasn't until like years later. Um, and now that I think about it, years later, at this particular time, I had I had started working out, and the person it was actually it was my personal trainer at that time. I think that they were able to see me, and
Right.
because I had experienced depression before, they knew what it looked like. And instead of them just coming out to say, hey, I think you're depressed,
Right.
they recommended a book to me. They had this book, and it was like, I'm gonna, bring you this book. And I'm like, okay. And I had the book. I read the book. The book, I forgot the name of the book, but I remember a butterfly being on it. And
Mm.
it was written by the author. She was a black woman. And I'm reading this book, and when she started to describe a depressive episode, because that's what the book was about. The book was about depression. And the episode that she had was exactly like the one that I had years
Mm.
prior. And I
Wow.
said, oh my gosh, I was depressed. I didn't
Right.
I didn't know anything about depression. I didn't know what depression was. I did not know. But what she described in that book, it was to the T, every single thing that I had experienced. And so from that point, and it wasn't like, like the internet that we have now where we just go on and Google everything. I think
Right.
at that time we were still sending chain letters through the emails. you know, we didn't have social media, none of that stuff. Chain letters through the emails and stuff like that. And so uh, I just started to um, I don't know. It was just certain things that I started to do. I was already working out, so that helped because it was winter, like fall going into winter
Mm-hmm.
time at that time anyway. Excuse me. So I had already started working out, so that was a good thing. I started paying attention to what I was eating. Of course, I drank a lot of water, um, light and color.
Right.
It was just something in
Right.
me that knew that, okay, I needed, because of what the author said in that book. I started thinking color therapy. So I started bringing brighter colors into my environment in my room. I mean, I was in an apartment, so it wasn't like I could paint the walls and stuff like that, but I bought things that was yellow and,
Right.
paint or vases or bedding and things yellows and um just those summertime colors, bright colors and things. And I would sit under light. Um,
Right.
and those things did help. They did help. But those are just some of the things that I remember doing at that time when I realized what that was. And so I probably got a little ahead of myself, because we're going to talk about like some, things, some how to's and stuff like that later on. But yeah, that seasonal depression, a lot of people that live in the Midwest, East Coast,
Mm-hmm.
northern regions are affected by seasonal depression, and most likely don't even realize it.
Right. That's true. That's very, very true.
It just kind of
And
like,
don't even know why, like the whole city, country, state, whatever, it's just
yeah,
everybody's melancholy. Because like
yes,
I know in fact,
exactly,
I say I can't live in Seattle. Like it rains. Like
right,
90% of the year. I like no. I know my psychological cannot handle that. I
yeah.
can't handle that. Like I gotta be in some sun or something, right?
And
So
I
you
probably
absolutely
didn't
right, coach.
realize it as well. And that's the reason why, like, now my mindset is, but this is something that I always wanted to do, because I grew up this way,
Mm,
where we spent the summers here in Chicago, and we spent the winters, the fall and the winter season in Mississippi.
right,
And
right.
so I was used to that. And then when we stayed here, like I probably started having those like depressive symptoms and things like that, in my
Mm-hmm.
teenage years and stuff, because I mean, prior to, we was living in Mississippi. We was,
Right.
we were there in the wintertime. And so even right now, like, I do not want to be in the state of Illinois, but anywhere that is snowing and
Cold. Right.
cold and all of that in the wintertime. Like, I do not. I want a home somewhere with
Mm-hmm.
probably Arizona or something like that, where they still have good weather during the wintertime, and then I'll come back up here to stay in the
Right.
summer. It's beautiful here in the summer. It really is. It's a lot to do and all of that. And I do not want to be in Arizona in the summertime, because
Right. You want to be somewhere cooler because it is
yeah, it's like
hot.
you end up being in the house in the summer, and when in the
Mm-hmm.
summertime you can't come outside until after 6 o'clock.
Right. Because
In the
Arizona heat is a whole new level.
Yes, that and Vegas, like, not trying
Oh
to
yeah,
be
Nevada. Oh,
yeah,
I'm getting hot. Think about it. It's just dry and hot.
and hot, exactly. Feel like oven heat, or you standing by a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
diesel buses or something. And for real, oh girl, that hot.
It's
I
just
was like, why
hot.
is this
It's
hot?
that annoying, aggravating heat. Like it won't
Yes,
go nowhere. It's like just congested. It's stuck in one area, and it's just like hovers down your neck and back. Yeah, it's
yes,
awful, y'all.
it
I do,
is.
I do not travel like to Nevada or Arizona, places like that in
Not
the
in the
summertime.
summer. No, no,
Can't do
no.
it. Cannot.
Yeah.
So that's a great, you like you said, coach, you gave so many different ways, like the happy colors and things like that, when you're trying to, dealing with seasonal affective disorder as a part of depression
You
that
say you
says
can't
you
breathe.
can't breathe.
You say you can't breathe. You're right. You feel like suffocating. You like, ah, ah,
You just want to lay down, go to sleep.
want to take off my
Oh,
skin.
absolutely. So those are some examples of sad, and how the depression can really weigh on your psychology too. Because like I was, I think I want to say it was E.T. Eric Thomas that he was saying those cold or winter months, he can't really keep his wife around because of
Yeah,
her sickness and illness. And so we gotta think about it. It's not just the physical; it can be the mental too and the emotional.
yes,
And
yes.
so
And
if
then
you
think
can do something.
he from Chicago.
Right. See, and so he had to buy a
He had
home
the
in
house. He had
California,
the house.
so his wife can just stay healthy. Like we think it's a joke, but it could be life or death situation sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to really understand how depression can come in those seasonal months, and then things just begin to weigh on us. And maybe it wouldn't be so bad if it was the summer, but now it's raining, it's cold, it's snowing, and then now you got these other situations coming up to where you just kind of like, fall into a deep depression. And then again, we already said depression can lead to a desperation. And so the second one, since we're there already, and you mentioned that in your example, coach, is situational. That's probably one of the most common types of depression is situational. It can hit at any moment, whether it's based on your decisions, whether it's due from somebody else. Situational depression can just be here today in an instant. We've all experienced it where it's a relationship loss, like you said, coach. You said you experienced a exiting a relationship, or just not having any money, or the economy. You know, it could be so many things. A loss of a job. It's just so many things that can come up that can cause you to be depressed based on the situation. And we got to begin to recognize that. Like, we have to start to say, okay, what cycle is bringing this on? If you know that you live somewhere where it's cold, really, really cold in the winter, and you notice that melancholy feeling coming on, there's something that you can do about it to try to get ahead to break that cycle. If you can recognize the cycle and be aware, jump ahead of it, you know, do some things to get in front of it. Same thing with the situation. You can kind of pinpoint what it is that's kind of making me feel this way. Like, if you did lose the job, well, now your loss of the job, you don't have income coming in that you once had, children crying, hungry, they want things, need things. So now the depression begins to set in. So we got to start to recognize what situation has now caused the depression. And then, you know, just being aware can help us a lot. Like, it can prevent some things, or it can just help us to recognize it. So even if we're going through it at the time, it won't lead us to that desperate state. Okay, what do I got to do? I need to go find another job. I need to bring some income in, or what have you. Or if it's a loss of a relationship, maybe I need to meet some new people, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe I need to get to know myself a little bit better. What's going to bring me out of this state of depression? Because we still have to remember that it is a mood disorder. So that's all emotion, that's feeling. And so there are ways we can change how we feel. We can bring in a positive to counteract the negative of the feeling, right? I mean, coach, what you want to speak on situational depression?
Yeah. I actually, it's something that you just said, and it reminds me of something that I posted earlier, in which, let's see, I'm gonna pull it up, but I'm gonna save it for the how to. But
Okay.
like things when we say, when we say raise your vibrations,
Mm-hmm.
raise your vibrations, raise your vibrations. And we just kind of say it.
Right.
But it's like, well, how? you know,
Right. Right. How do I raise my vibration?
how do I do that? And nobody gives you a step by step how to actually do that. And so
Right.
I posted earlier on steps, on
Mm-hmm.
how to do that, and then having this scale of emotions, that range, because of course, to be emotionally intelligent is to know the emotion that you are in, that you're feeling. You can
Right.
pinpoint it, you can identify it, you can like say it. you know
Right.
I feel distraught, or I feel, this is that and the other, and then express it in healthy ways, because it's calling for an expression.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times when we're if we're not emotionally intelligent, and then we don't know, then we end up expressing those emotions in unhealthy ways, and which really brings us further. It could take us further into the depression. You know what I'm saying? Like you start using, drugs, alcohol, risky sexual experiences,
Right.
um,
Right.
money. Now you're spending money because you're trying to, what they call it, what do they call it? Retail therapy.
Right.
you know,
Right.
and
Shopping.
right, shopping and all of that kind of stuff. And so you might be neglecting some other things that you really need to be
Mm-hmm.
taken care of, all because you're trying to make yourself feel better. But
Absolutely.
the things that you're doing in order to do that aren't healthy. And so you that brings dopamine into play. You know, we got five feel good hormones, and they're
Mm-hmm.
oxytocin, melatonin, serotonin, the endorphins, and dopamine. And dopamine, for short, dope, right? um and that's that reward hormone, where we're doing something, we're accomplishing something, and then,
Right.
like, and we're getting that rush, and we feel good after
Mm-hmm.
we accomplish it, or we reach that goal, or we're competing or something like that, and so we win, and it's like, yay, that
Right.
we're going after something. And then when we actually accomplish it, or we conquer it, or whatever, we get that rush of dopamine.
Mm-hmm.
But it needs to be balanced with oxytocin, which is the bonding hormone that you get, that you feel
Right.
when you're, with touch, when you're bonding with someone,
Mm-hmm.
like, you're hugging and cuddling and things like that. The serotonin and melatonin, those are, peaceful. So, you get that with to experience or feel that sense of peace and calm that
Mm-hmm.
overcomes you. But a lot of people are not getting that. And
Right.
it's just but it's the dopamine. And so with that retail therapy, or the sexual experiences without the bonding that comes into play,
Right.
the spending of the money and all of those kinds of things, you're really getting a doses or shots of dopamine. And then after that wears down, guess what you start feeling? Guilt,
Yep.
shame,
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? Disappointment. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's like, what did you do? Now you added more of that on top of the depression. And
Absolutely.
and in most cases, you probably don't even know that you are depressed. And that is what needs to be,
Address.
addressed.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the root. The root issue
That's
is the
the root.
depression.
Yeah.
Right.
That could definitely be the root of it. Yeah. So I'm gonna
Wow.
bring that up after though the when we get to the how to part.
Absolutely. Look, you gave it to us, Coach. I think that was really good because we need to hear that, because sometimes you don't even know why you're doing a certain thing, and it's rooted in something totally different that you didn't even, your mind didn't even go to, because you may not even think that you were depressed, or you struggle with that.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads us to, we have a couple more types of depression. We have bipolar disorder. That's a big one. I think bipolar goes like, it kind of flies under the radar. And there are a lot of people who may be bipolar and are undiagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Coach, and not to offend anybody, but I know sometimes in my family, we used to like, you had the bipolar, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And really, what? We might need to stop saying that, because someone could definitely be struggling with bipolar disorder and don't
Yes.
even know, because
Mm-hmm.
those extreme highs and lows, because that's exactly what, okay, so bipolar disorder is a different form of depression, but it's included in this list because someone with bipolar disorder experiences episodes of extremely low moods that meet the content. Can I see that? I can barely see it. That
The
meets the
criteria.
criteria for major depression. And so basically, what's that saying? Right, clinically diagnosed. Look, oh, that's neat. Hey, neat. I know you was on here, girl, on YouTube. But yeah, so when people have those episodes, they can go high to low so quickly. Some of that is abnormal. Like, the
Right.
mood should not change so fast. Like, 1 minute you can be in a good mood, you can be happy and joyful and all these things, and then the very next moment you're down, and things just not going my way. And so according to that definition or explanation of bipolar disorder, that's could be something you're suffering with, and that is a form of depression. So again, we got to begin to recognize some of these things that we could just blow off or discount as being real. So if you see someone just going from those extremes, there can be something clinically wrong with them, and
Yeah.
we just, it hasn't been detected, or it just flies on the
Yeah.
radar, or we just brush it off like she
And
tripping, he crazy, or whatever.
right. And when you think about it, because there's still such a stigma among melanated people, I like to say melanated,
Mm-hmm.
about, mental health and seeing a therapist, a clinical psychologist for our mental health, then a lot of us are
Right.
walking around with undiagnosed,
Right.
um, undiagnosed disorders, and
Absolutely.
they need to be diagnosed, because it you just never know what it is, right? And and again, we'll turn around and do the things that I just said before, self-medicate. That's what we call it,
Right.
self-medicate, and all of that, but it's not helping the situation. And
Absolutely.
this was something that I was talking to my husband the other day, um about. Now think about this, okay? Where we're watching the news, somebody is done shot up. It's a mass shooting. All right,
Mm.
it's a mass shooting, and shot up a school or a bank or whatever. But there was this mass shooting, and the first thing that we would say or think is, first of all, who did it?
Right.
Right now, not we're not asking who did it. We already know. We be like, that ain't us, right?
Right.
Right. It's like that ain't us. We didn't do that, but it's the,
Mm.
yeah, who did that. And then the first thing that the second thing that we'll say is, well, we know how this one gonna end.
Yeah.
And what usually what we'll say is that this person is gonna get off or have a slap on the wrist or whatever, because they're gonna say that they, had some type of mental disorder or something. That's the reason
Right.
why this is that and the other. Well, here is the thing. The reason why the mass shooting can happen, and then the person get off or get a slap on the wrist or a little bit of time or whatever, um the reason why that can happen is because that person has been receiving
Mm-hmm.
first of all, they were diagnosed, right? They were
Right.
diagnosed with something, and they have been taking medication or therapies or whatever the case may be. And so they actually have something documented
Right.
that says that they have a
Absolutely.
mental issue. And so that can be brought up in court.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why, if say one of us did something like that or whatever,
Ain't
why
documented.
we gonna get sent to the can, is because we have such this stigma or whatever around mental health and going to be seen, to where now
Right.
we don't have something documented on paper. And so they can't say, well, this person wasn't in their right mind.
Right.
They must have been in their right mind, because there's not they never
Nothing
saw a
on
mental
paper.
health specialist. There's nothing on paper. And so,
Wow.
if anything, and I'm telling you, when I say that was just one day, the Holy Spirit just boom put that in my head. I was like,
Right.
yo, I'm like, seriously. And
That, coach, that need to be pinned somewhere, because I don't know if we really understand how serious that is.
that is it
Like
is
that could be the difference of you going to jail for 20 years or you going into a mental health
mental
center.
health, exactly, to get
Right.
the help that you need. and not
Right.
be sent to jail. I mean,
Right. I
this
can't
is
even say them, but
this
right.
was a bit personal, but I have a family member who spent most of their life in jail, in and out of jail, all because now we always thought something wasn't really wrapped tight with him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He just did things that was weird, but it
Wow.
was just like, okay, they weird. That's what they do. But it just seemed off. But there was maybe at least one person that did say, you may want to go get them checked out. And they flipped, man, don't tell me about my child, this is that and the other, did that and
Mm.
all of that, and never got them the help that they needed. And I believe because what just the things that they displayed, like in their habits and their and things like that, that they were uh they on a spectrum of autism, because it was
Mm.
things that he did that was like genius. Like, how do you build apartment buildings from notebook paper? They had elevators.
Wow.
I mean, it was be stuff like that. You build a whole house with some cards, and and we would just be like, wow. But then it was other things that was just off and didn't make sense that they did. But because they never received help,
Right.
because ain't nothing wrong with my child type of thing, they spent most of their life in and out of prison. And we need to stop that. We really do. We need to go. Mental health is just like going to your annual physical, where you go get a checkup. At least I hope everybody do that. Like, please,
Please.
please, especially men. And I just don't want to say black men. I just want to say men in general.
Right.
Just got this thing where they don't want to go to the doctor. You really need to go to the doctor. I
Absolutely.
mean, we talk about all the day. If you the head and you the king and you the leader and you this and you that, please lead yourself to the hospital, to the doctor. I
And I'm
mean,
not just talking about, coach. It may not always be physical. We don't want to go to
yes,
the doctor because we think we may have a cancer or some prostate or breast or the worst of the worst. But do you not know mental instability is far worse than cancer, because you can't even go get treated for
you
cancer
can't
if you did
think
have it, because mentally you can't even
properly.
process it.
You can't think straight.
You can't
And
think
and and
straight.
and how do we go about our lives? It all starts with the
Mm,
mind, with the head,
right.
with the brain. It starts there. And so
Yes.
mental health is just as important as your physical health, getting your cholesterol checked
100%.
out, and your heart, and that your blood flowing properly, and your blood pressure and all of that. Mental health, because if this goes, what can you
That's
do?
it.
What do
That's
you
it.
do? Right? And I mean, and depression, because it's huge, because just
It
like we said,
is.
it could be situational, and life happens.
Right.
Things happen. I don't know. We didn't get into postpartum depression yet, but
No.
for women, postpartum depression, that's something that's big. And now you can't take care of yourself and your newborn baby.
Right.
And a lot of times with postpartum depression, like, yeah, it's a lot of things that's going on, like hormonally, and the changes and things like that. But then also when you feel alone because you're trying to heal, and then you have this new baby, especially if it's your first,
Right.
you know but what I find with people, with women who experience postpartum depression, do you know a lot of times it's caused because they don't have the help and support that they need? They just don't have the
Wow.
help and support that they need with a new life. Like, they're trying to heal, but then also take care of a baby at the same time. And
Wow,
so
coach.
that new mother needs help. She needs care. She needs someone to fix her some food, and help her get in the tub and stuff like that,
Right.
and also give her a break from the baby because she's still healing. Like this was a whole ordeal, and then we have this
Absolutely.
mentality, like, and a lot of it, I think, is still kind of rooted in because depression is linked with anxiety and a lot of times PTSD. You know,
Yes.
post girl, what does PTSD stand for again?
Post traumatic
Post traumatic, right?
stress disorder.
Right, post traumatic stress disorder, right? And so, but having a baby, especially if it's your first time,
It can
look,
be traumatic.
that's traumatic.
I haven't experienced it, but look, I've been around enough to know, like, we need to get you some help, sis. You're
Right.
going too fast.
It's a traumatic ordeal. You got a whole human being coming out of areas that ain't never stretched that far.
True story. And she's on my sister-in-law, Neek. Y'all see her on YouTube. I don't know if she was ever diagnosed, but when them twins came, it was a whole new level of what's happening.
What is going on? What's happening? Like, whoa, you being stretched. Sometimes stuff rip.
The whole nine. The whole nine.
Everything. Now folks is all around and they sewing you up that is, look, PTSD,
That's
anxiety, and depression to follow. I mean, that is real. And then but the reason why I mentioned that is because, um, we gotta enter in slavery, right? And what did the
she
slave?
said she was diagnosed. She said it was serious. I thought so. I thought
Yes,
so. That was a different birth after the she had them popped out 3 good ones. But after them twins came, we was like, we here, sister. We got you,
right.
because I need you to be okay, because I can't take your kids. I'm gonna need you to come up out of this, and we're gonna all pray and sing kumbaya, because you're gonna take care of all 5 of your kids, because I cannot do it.
Hey girl, look.
So what do I need to do to help you?
I'm so glad that y'all helped her for real. That is, I commend you all with that, like, seriously, because
it was a selfish motive, but coach, we came in heavy. We like, what we gotta do to help you? These are kids that we can't take
you
over
saying that. Now I'm sitting up here like, because honey, like, first of all, okay, giving birth to twins as my first at 13. Ain't nobody helped me after that.
She said I'm the best baby daddy. She's so
I
sweet.
was probably right. Girl, I probably need to been diagnosed.
Right. Coach, you've been diagnosed 7 times.
I'm sitting up here thinking like, man, y'all helped her after that? Like, wow.
Coach, God was your help, because you was diagnosed. You was experiencing it. You was just not diagnosed with it.
I was just not diagnosed.
But you was in 100% PTSD and postpartum, all at the same time.
PTSD, all of that. And so, you think back at, like, slave days or whatever, then what? They had them babies. They out there picking cotton in the fields or whatever. The baby come, you push the baby out and rip the cord off or whatever, and you got to get back to work.
Wow.
And we still got that running around in our DNA.
Right. Because
that's right. Girl, I'm serious. Girl, I was at school the next week.
Jesus. You know what? And we laughing about it, but when you think about those older days when those women had to still continue on, and there is really no way they should have been doing that without the proper time. Because even if you work a job and they give you a benefit of FMLA, 6 weeks, 8 weeks is not enough time to get your mind back together, to readjust. And we're not talking about
just did a whole change in 9 months, and then now you have a new baby. They say that a woman is not really herself again after having a baby until about 4 to 5 years later.
Wow.
4 to 5 years.
Wow. So you still experiencing postpartum from the last child if you got some back-to-back or step children. That's
Exactly.
it. You
You
still
ain't
in
never,
postpartum. You ain't had time to
it be
recover.
like a year or two, you popping another one out, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one. It's like you got backlog of, you know,
You need 12 years to recover.
you need 12 years. Girl, Nikhil in there 14. Girl, I probably just came back 2 years ago.
Oh my God, Coach, please stop.
Maybe it was 2 years ago. But
Look,
this
Coach,
joke was
that's why you can answer, because you just came over your postpartum. This is
I
why
just came
everything looks
undiagnosed and everything.
now. Look, you're trading good. Look, your mind clear. You don't came
My
out of your
right,
postpartum.
girl.
I cannot.
But I'm telling you, that is why I'm such an advocate. I'm like, look,
Mm-hmm.
therapy,
Therapy.
find somebody. If you don't have the, and a lot of times that's the reason why, just not having the um
Absolutely,
the
Ebony.
health care and things like that to be able to pay for it. But there are a lot of free resources. There are free, it's like find free resources, in your community.
Right.
um um because they're out there. They're out there
Absolutely.
to where you can tap into them until you can get the financial help that you need. And look, as a matter of fact, look, I'm but shameless plug. You would definitely want to reach out to me when it comes to something like that, because we do have a new fintech on our platform
Right.
where you can get consumer loans and things like that. You might have to do that, and you can do it for medical.
Right.
You can do it
That's
for medical, you
awesome.
can do it for health. So, hey, the
That's an
people getting
awesome
loans for,
resource.
right, people getting loans for cars and stuff like that. Get it for your body, for you to take care of yourself,
Everything, all of that. Right.
right?
Yes.
Get it to take, I mean,
This
like, truly
that's
take
important.
care of yourself. So,
Yes.
yeah, girl, I probably went all over, but I mean,
But it was needed though, because I
it was
think again, we just fail to realize how important mental health and physical health is. And so, especially when we're talking about depression, we gotta stay on top of our mental health. And postpartum is a huge, with women, it's huge. And if you ain't never really thought about it, because you ain't had time to sit down and stop to think about it, because you're so inundated with the new baby, with the pregnancy, then you already have previous kids, you can't even focus, and you don't even understand why
and you
you
working, and you
depressed,
got a spouse, and you got,
and still cooking, still cleaning, still being intimate,
all
still
by
taking care of
yourself,
kids, doing homework. You know what?
by
I commend
yourself.
y'all.
Put the
They
cape.
say
I'm like, put the cape down.
put
Take
the
it off.
cake, take it off, so throw it
Take it,
away, at least tuck
hold
it
it
or something. I don't know.
away, and give it to somebody else that can help you. Give
Absolutely.
it, give it to somebody that need the cape to help you,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So that's the part, the
Oh,
piece of,
thank you, Ebony. That is very sweet of you. And the coaches got your back, girl. We're gonna help you get through the best way we can.
yes, yes.
We
And
appreciate that
so,
comment.
yes, we do. And so let's get into these I know, look, we've mentioned some how
How
to's like
to's,
throughout,
right?
throughout, but
Yes.
let's get in some of these how to's. As a matter of fact, I'm going to share this
Yes.
on the screen, and then I'm going to also share um the thing that I had posted
Mm-hmm.
earlier, because that's something that you can definitely do or tap into. Takes about 17 minutes tops. Like, don't don't shortcut, don't
Right.
shortcut uh um the process. 17 minutes. Give yourself 17 minutes of your time. Like, you're worth
Wow.
it. you are
17 minutes.
you are worth 17 minutes of your day. Okay, you're worth more than
Okay.
that, but you're at least worth 17 minutes of your own day.
And you might want to take those 17 minutes, because not taking those 17 minutes could lead you into a lifetime of hospitalization, being drained, then medication, So look, if it's 17 minutes, we can do that. That's a half of a lunch break. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like, we gotta take it seriously. That you can break that up 4 times a day, 4 minutes a day. And 4 minutes, 4 times a day. That's 16 minutes right there. Then you can pop it over. There's times where you have opportunity to get them 17 minutes in. Do it for
Right.
yourself. Like, yes, coach.
Yes. So these are things that you can do, but not only for yourself if you are experiencing this, but keep your eyes open,
Mm-hmm.
right? To the people around you and the people that you love, right?
Yes.
If they don't
Agreed.
see themselves, pay attention to that. A lot of times we just we just kind of write things off as, oh, they're this, or oh, they're that, or
Mm-hmm.
not pay attention at all. And sometimes you just really need to people just need to hear somebody really ask them, are you okay?
Yes.
And they'll
Yes.
say, oh yeah, I'm okay. And it's like, no, are you okay? And when you do that, especially engage the eye contact,
Mm-hmm.
are you okay?
Like, really, like, mean it when you ask that
And
question.
yes, and they will, I mean, they may break down and tell you everything or whatever, or maybe not, but they just know that somebody cares. And that's what it's really all about, that somebody cares in this world of everybody just going along doing whatever they want to do, when they want to do, how they
Right.
want to do it, and doing it all for themselves.
Right.
We need to look out for each other.
We
So
do.
the things that you can do or help somebody else do, try to be active and exercise, right? When the
Right.
person found me in my apartment laying on the floor, they got me up, put me in the tub, because I don't even know how long I had been without a shower or bath or whatever. They took me to the hospital, and then they just started to get me up and moving and going. I mean, maybe you won't find the person to have to put them in the hospital or anything like that, um but just get to moving around, move yourself around. If you're helping somebody else, help them to move around and be active. You don't necessarily have to go to the gym and stuff if that's not something that you regularly do or that they regularly do or whatever anyway, but just to
Right.
get them up and out into some fresh air, take a walk. If it's cold outside, take them to the mall to walk around the mall. Don't buy nothing. you know
Right. Just
no
get
retail
them out
store,
moving.
but yeah, just get them out moving, for at least 20-30 minutes or something like that. Set realistic goals for yourself. And realistic goals, it could be something as far as just like creating a routine or having a routine in place. And then when you do that, when you accomplish the 2 or 3 things or those tasks per day, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yay. I mean, reward yourself for it. Try to spend time with other people and confide in a trusted friend or relative. That right there. Now, let's just say you're a person that you you know I guess you don't have the health benefits in order for you to go to therapy and for where it's paid for, or you don't
Mm-hmm.
have the money in order to do it. Now I'm gonna tell you what I did, because at first I didn't have the money. Okay, I didn't have the money, but this is what I did. I said my health, my mental health and emotional health is more important than anything else. I wasn't getting my hair done because I do my own hair. Um, I had stopped doing the manicures and pedicures and stuff long ago. I reallocated that money somewhere else. I just looked at the things that I was doing and what I can reallocate in order
Mm-hmm.
to pay to go to therapy. It was
Right.
$60 for an hour, right? So if I'm going to get my hair done or my nails did and all of that kind of stuff, I could surely pay
Right.
for the $60 session to go talk to a therapist that look objective, don't have anything to do with my situations or whatever at
Right.
all, and that could actually help me to put um a plan together or some
Mm-hmm.
action steps and those things, and have something on file diagnosed to where if I
Yes.
did snap, then they ain't finna lock me up. you
Right.
know
You got a paper trail right now.
Yeah, so it was that's the wisdom. That is
Yes.
wisdom. You need a paper trail of a diagnosis, but then not just getting diagnosed just to say you diagnosed, but having a plan in place and
Mm-hmm.
implementing those things, to get to be done. So, but if you don't have that, then who is it that you can trust, that you
Right.
can talk to, that you can speak to in order to, and we always said, to vent,
Mm-hmm.
not a pity party. Don't choose somebody that's going to be there with you in the pity party, right?
Right. No.
Choose someone that, and Coach Cotton is definitely that person for me.
Coach Doss is my person as well.
Because we're not going to do a pity party. We're going to express whatever it is. And then it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so now what's the action steps? What we need
Right.
to do?
What you gonna do? You gonna sit
Right.
here?
Now, what we need to do? Because we're not staying here,
Period.
right? So the next one, try not to isolate yourself and let
Mm-hmm.
others help you. That
Yes.
is very, very important. Do not isolate, because when you isolate, when I tell you, your mind will start playing. Who was it? My mind is playing tricks
Playing
on me.
tricks on me. Yes.
Oh my gosh. That voice start talking to you, telling you don't nobody, it will put you into more isolation.
Right.
It'll start telling you that don't nobody care, don't nobody want to be around you, don't nobody this that, and you will just isolate and isolate and
Mm-hmm.
isolate and isolate until where next thing you know, you done snapped or something. And
Right.
and other people help you. It is okay to get help. You do not
Yes.
have to do everything alone and by yourself, right? Um, expect your mood to improve gradually, not immediately. So
Right.
don't think
I
that,
love that one.
yes, you feel this way and then all of a sudden, boom, you finna be because I'm happy. No, you're not.
Right. That's not realistic.
It's not realistic. I mean, it's good to put some music on and kind of dance to get yourself out, but
Right.
it's not. It's gonna happen over time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is very important. Postpone important decisions such as getting
Yes.
married or divorced, or leaving a relationship or something, changing jobs until you feel better.
Yes.
Discuss decision with others who you know well and have more of an objective view of your
Mm-hmm.
situation. Like again, that's kind of where the therapist comes into play, because
Right.
they don't have a dog in the fight. Right. They
Right.
can be objective, and they can help you to you know um help you with making important decisions, or telling you not to. It's like, don't make a decision at all right now, right? Because
Absolutely.
you're not really in the right frame of mental space or emotional space in order to do so. You want to make those decisions when you're in a better space, because what you don't want to do is live in regret. You made a a an unhealthy mental decision,
Right.
mental emotional decision, that's going to affect you and a whole lot of other people that's involved in your life. And then later on down the line, when you do get better, now you're regretting it, because it's like, man, what if I woulda, coulda, shoulda? I
Right.
wasn't in a mental space. And now, I mean, you be surprised at how often that happens. That happens a lot,
So
you know.
often it does.
Yes. And then and the last one, continue to educate yourself about depression. We have good old internet now, right? We
Yes.
got Google. Okay. I
YouTube
will
University.
right, YouTube University. And I will say too, because this site right here that I just got this from, as a matter of fact, I'm going to when you do your research on things, you really want to go with sites that are like, .gov or
Mm-hmm.
org. .gov or org for sure. Um, but yeah, this is a .gov site, and I am going to. What in the heck just happened here? Oh shoot! What am I? It won't let me be great, y'all. I'm trying to.
Let me see if I can find it.
Okay, yeah, it just did. It just did something real crazy. All right, I tried, y'all, but it's.
I tried. I tried.
I tried to get y'all the link. I really did, but but yeah. Oh, and then this last thing, and then we'll wrap it up. Look. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm late. I'm late for something. Where are we at? Right here. Okay. Okay. So this is something that you can do. I won't say that this is for like a major depressive episode or anything like that, but something that you can do as far as raising your vibrations, right? Raising your vibrations. So, um, as a health and wellness coach, certified, right? Certified health and wellness coach and certified energy practitioner. This is something that I do with my clients when I've done a session where I'm either releasing trapped emotions from their energy field in their body and things like that. And just the exercise for them to be able to do in order to maintain the work that we've done,
Right.
right? Because we're always going to experience emotions. It's just that we don't want these lower frequency emotions to be lodged in our energetic body, in our organs, because they can. And then if that energy stays in an organ for too long, next thing you know, you got these health issues and you're trying to fix it, or the doctors or whatever are trying to fix it from a physical standpoint when it's actually emotional,
Right.
right? You can't fix an emotional issue with some medicine. You
Period.
can't, right? You can't do that. So this is something help you to raise your vibrations, to keep you lift you back up out of these lower frequency emotions. So it says, when we speak of raising our vibrations, it's important to know the what, why, and how. So, what are we raising? We are raising our emotions. Emotions are energy in motion. Energy plus motion equals emotion. It's energy that's moving.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when it becomes stagnant or stuck, that's where we have a problem. So below, and I'm going to show you what's below, are low and high frequency emotions. Identify where you are, reflect on how you got there, then choose where you want to go as far as emotions are concerned, right? So, um, so why do we need to raise our vibrations? We are in creative mode at all times. Every word that we speak and every action that we take is creating our reality. If we are creating from lower frequency emotions, then we
Mm-hmm.
will be our kind in everything that we do, or in all things. We will get that new job, new relationship, new social circle, and everyone that we meet um in those situations will be operating from those lower frequency emotions. So then here we are, look, we got the bank account on swole, driving the
Right.
Maserati, whatever, with your boo thing, and still miserable and frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even enjoy what it is that you're in because it's, just, I mean, come and think about it. How many people have been, they like, oh, okay, they wanted all of this money or success or whatever the case may be, and they get it, and they still feel horrible.
Right. Right.
And a lot of people that they're interacting with, they're doing the same thing too. They're in it, they're there, and they still feel horrible. And that's the reason why you have people that are, you know, the drugs and everything that they're doing, because
Mm-hmm.
they they're still in lower frequency emotions. you know.
Right.
So how do we raise our vibrations? So this is a how to. You get still and quiet for at least 17 minutes. You want to breathe. You want to inhale through your nostrils and exhale through your mouth. You want to meditate on how it would feel to be
Right.
in whichever emotion that you choose as your destination. I'm going to show you the scale in a minute. And so you want to hold that meditation on that particular emotion that you want to feel until you actually feel the emotion entering into your body.
Mm.
And so that is how you raise your vibration.
Nice.
So,
Coach, you got that in a link somewhere where I can post it so they can go
um,
back and just refer to it. It's on your page.
yeah, it's on my page. Let me see if I can copy the link this time. Oh, see, then let me do it this time. I was trying to do the other thing,
I'll put
and
the other one in there. I found the other one. I
oh,
got
okay,
it.
you found it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
good. All right. Okay, so I
Yeah.
think
Awesome.
I think that's it. So yeah. So here we are with the with these emotions. You got the lower free, oh shoot. Okay, maybe I have to. You got the lower frequency emotions down at the bottom, like they're in brown and black and stuff. So you got doubtful, insecurity, lonely, rejection, disappointment, worry, pessimism, frustration, impatience, irritation, anger, rage, revenge, hatred, fear, sadness, abandon, ashamed, anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
unloved, despair, disempowered, grief, depression, hopelessness. Those are all lower frequency emotions. So you want to get to where it says neutrality, quiet center of stillness. That's why I said in the beginning, get quiet and still. Like, don't even have on music. Get somewhere where it is still and quiet. And then you do that exercise, and where you want to focus on what emotion do you want to feel. Um Then you have these higher frequency emotions: hopefulness, acceptance, faith, encourage, positive attitude, empowered, worthy, eagerness, at ease, lighthearted, inspired, confidence, responsible, open hearted, serene, happiness, gratitude, compassion, courage,
Right.
spiritual connection. You know, what, oh, and the top: love, joy, passion, freedom, highest excitement or enlightenment. So really, these lower frequency emotions, each of them are the opposite of these. So whichever one you're feeling, so say for instance, anger, laughter is the opposite emotion of anger.
Right.
Is this the opposite emotion? And so if you're feeling anger, um you would really want to laugh.
Absolutely.
Right,
Right.
you
Right.
focus on that, and it would be good to like put something on that's funny.
Right.
That is, your sense of humor, comedy, or whatever, and laugh, right?
Right.
And so but like I said, that's just the exercise that you can, do in the moment when you are feeling down in those lower frequency emotions. That
Mm-hmm.
is how you can actually raise your vibration. That's the how
Yes.
to. So that's it. I know we are over time, and I'm like super late for something that's probably over by now. But yeah.
Okay. Well, Coach, I think this was good. We did run over a little bit, but I think with this topic, it was expected, especially when we want to make sure that we give you guys some good references, like these sites you can go to, you can read upon on your own, because that last Beyond Treatment was to educate yourself, and you want to go to a trusted site that's giving off some facts and not someone's opinion. And then also, of course, Coach being a wellness coach, she's also very well versed and trusted in this area. So, like we like to say, always, Coach. Anything else you want to close out with, Coach?
No, not at
Okay.
all.
Well, like we do each and every Tuesday night, this has been the Coach's Corner with Coach Hadassah, the wellness coach, metaphysician, tax. Look, I'm about to say tax attorney. Might be that too, but
No.
tax specialist. What's the proper term, Coach? What's the proper term? Is it tax specialist? Tax. She do your taxes. That's what I'm gonna say, and she do them right. I don't really
Just
know the proper term for it.
overall business consultant.
That all of what she just said. So please, we always encourage you guys on the Coach's Corner to seek some help, whether that's therapy, counseling, or coaching. I am Coach Cotton. I too, you can reach out to me anytime and we can talk about it. Let's get you to your next level. That's what we like to do on the Coach's Corner. Every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. You guys go out, be great. We love you. Thank you for tuning in every Tuesday. Bye.